Westfield, Massachusetts, at the St. Mary's Cemetery. It was designed and made in 1862, so it's extremely old for the Catholic denomination. And we're going to drive through as much of the cemetery as possible. It's enormous. I would guess, their website says 16,000. I doubt it. It's more like there would probably be about 60,000 burials inside of here. It's that big. And you got to remember, it's like 60 acres, which is enormous. All right, so there's a lot of pastures. There's one on our side here. It says the Reverend George Fitzgerald, and then the Reverend Patrick Dodd. We're going to stop here because that is their priest circle. Okay, so we're going to stop here and look at some of the pastures. But we're going to continue our tour through the cemetery. It's horizontal grid kind of fashion with two enormous back sections. The road is very broken up, so it's going to be hard to drive smoothly on the road. Now, this has the burials of the Catholic of the Westfield area, and by that, that's a very big area because it includes Russell and Huntington and all the hill towns to the west beyond Westfield, which are going to be quite many. Okay, and you can see the more you go back in the cemetery, the more likely you're going to come to the very modern sections. And it goes on and on both the right and left of the chapel. It goes on. Okay, and what we're going to do now is head towards the chapel area. And this also doubles towards the back as the maintenance area. And you can also see, if you're looking around, that they have lots of spaces around this cemetery. Lots of open room. This cemetery has been around for 162 years. They'll probably be here another 162 years. There's so much space. So we're going to go in front of this chapel. Okay, so it's quite nice looking, and it says on the base of the embedded chapel that it's St. Mary's committal shrine, memorial stone to Monsignor George A. Shea with affection, Dorothy and William E. Moore, dedicated December 10th, 1989. Okay, and off to the side, it's a veteran stone, and it says, in honor and memory of all veterans of all wars who served in the armed forces of the United States. So they've done nice things here. Now, the oldest gravestones are right in this area too. So if you look around yourself, you see the old portions. These are the 1860, 1870, 1880 stones. Very old, very simple. All right, you got to remember this was not a rich community, and for that reason, it has a very distinctive look. Now, the big family stones that are old are right in front of those. So if you look here, these stones in front of you are the families that were served by this area. Now, you're going to see so many ethnic groups here. You're going to see Irish, French Canadian, Polish, and others. So, for instance, I'm reading a stone right now that says Lucas Vodviak. All right, and that might be Polish. But there's an enormous number of stones out here. Now the right side is the very modern side. The left side of the chapel, and then expanded backwards, is the older side. And so a lot of these stones are the 40s and 50s. And as usual, the further you go back, the more likely you can get into the modern section. So we're coming up to being more modern as we go along. Really cool to see. You have actually a trail out the back of the cemetery, and it's part of the cemetery still. Okay, so we come back to the old part, and thank you very much for coming on this street tour of the St. Mary's Cemetery of Westfield.